Good evening, and welcome to the study session of the City of Moreno Valley.
Albert Guzman, followed by Deborah Craig.
Hello, Mayor, City Council. My name is Albert Guzman. I came here last week to bring Southwest Albert Renteria here to the city with its business summit. I believe that this is really good for the city entrepreneurship. And I myself at one time was a homeless vet, and I'm a businessman. Albert Renteria gave me an opportunity to be executive director of Southwest back in 2010. Soon thereafter, he allowed me to become the resource coordinator, which we help veterans off the street. One of the veterans that we helped off the street, we took to U.S. Vets. He became a leader, and now he is counseling other veterans to do the same thing, to get off the streets, become proactive, and become winners. These veterans have a lot to offer. Even though they do fall on hard times, there's many, many things that they can do for this community. What we want to do is promote businesses, entrepreneurship again, with all people, not just veterans, with this business summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. Our special order of business, Southwest Veterans. A presentation given by Albert Renteria. Report of the City Clerk.
Mr. Renteria is in the room.
Mr. Renteria.
Good evening, Mayor, Pro Tem, and distinguished council members. My name is Albert Renteria. I'm a retired Marine of 26 years, retired April 1st, 2000, April Fool's Day intentionally, because service never ends for Marine. I'm here with our president from the Southwest Veterans Business Resource Center.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Tracy Lawrence Collins. And as a Marine, I understand that the community is our greatest resource. There's 300 million civilians and only 23 million veterans, so it's a ratio of 13 to 1. And the support from the community is essential. I want to quickly introduce a public law and then let Tracy speak to the presentation. August 17 of 1999, legislation was passed for Public Law 106-50, Veteran Entrepreneurship. Congress and its communities realize that veterans bring a lot to the table. 45% of our population is most likely to be self-employed, but not recognized to be so. So the state, federal, county, and cities are bringing on board veteran businesses, and we want to invite this opportunity to host our 5th annual summit here in the city of Moreno, and Tracy Lawrence will give you the details.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, members of the public. The Southwest Veterans Business Resource Center would love to call Moreno Valley home of our 5th annual business summit. It's an exciting time for us to go into our 5th year. I'd like to give you some information about the Southwest Veterans Business Resource Center so you can consider what it is that you will be bringing to your city. Our community membership is about 4,800 people nationwide. It includes both veterans and civilians like myself. We have about 1,800 veterans in our community and about 3,000 civilians in our community. In the cities of Moreno Valley, Paris, Riverside, and Corona combined, the membership is over 1,200 people. Okay? The summit highlights. Last year we had our summit in Paris. It's an all-day event that includes an exhibit hall, a Meet the Buyers event for entrepreneurs, and workshops and training opportunities. I've heard a lot of conversation this evening about your economy. This summit is designed to move the economy. It encourages business owners to connect to the people they need to connect with so that they can close some deals. And that's what we want. We want to see veteran-owned businesses taking advantage of Public 106-50, and we want to see some civilian-owned businesses connecting to those veteran-owned businesses. The appointments for the Meet the Buyers were actually sold out in a day. In preparation for this summit, there's actually training classes and workshops that we put on so that we can make sure that those that attend the summit actually get what they came for. You have to be ready to do your 30-second elevator speech, right? If you're going to get in front of a buyer. Attendees for the summit came from all over the country last year. At graduation day, summit attendees who had completed a vendor training program actually received their diplomas. I was one of those people, okay? I think one of the handouts that you've been giving are some copies of those diplomas. I gave you copies of my own, right? As you can see, we were celebrating the things that we had learned about how to be responsible vendors, how to put together an RFP that actually gets the job done. The first handout is a copy of the County of Riverside diploma. You'll notice that it has 12 signatures on there. You know, everybody's on there. It makes you feel important, right? The second one is from Assemblymember Jose Medina, recognizing the effort that it took to prepare for the summit. Because the summit, I don't want you to think the summit is just a one-day event. There's the preparation that goes with putting on the summit, and not just preparation for the Southwest to put on the event, it's the preparation for the business owners to get the most out of the event. And then the last one is acknowledgement of that preparation by Senator Roth. We're expecting an even greater turnout this year and larger sponsors in 2015. There were over 1,000 attendees that came in and out of Paris that day for the event.
Thank you, Tracy. The essence of this, and I heard it all evening, and having served, I echo the sentiments of the mayor. We serve so the American people can speak so long as they don't shoot, and that's important. I'm from Chicago. I was born there, raised there, joined at 17 in 1974, retired here in California, and I just moved into Riverside County from San Diego County just these past few days. Our objective today is to invite the council to make a decision so we can start promoting June 1st. Getting the word out is the essence of a successful event, November 4th of 2015. So we're here to answer any questions. We're here to tell you that I volunteer my time. I'm the founder, CEO, and chairman. I own my own firm. Like some of the speakers up here spoke, is corruption is driven by greed, and greed does not service the public. So I donate a salary of $75,000 a year to service the community, not just in Riverside County, but across the nation. I first founded the Southwest in San Diego County, went to Washington, Vermont, and Florida, and that was the 4 points of the U.S., and then inward. We have 12 foreign nonprofits in other states. No one gets paid, but our reach is phenomenal. Because we know that people can't afford to come to our events, we developed and deployed vets.training, no .com, vets.training. Anybody can take our course. We're on a plane. My master's in electronic commerce. My job in the Marine Corps was to take the footprint, reduce it, so we can move firepower and less administrators to reduce the casualties of war that are not grunt and tip of the spear. And that was important to the American people. And our recent wars, although we lost some, when you compare them to previous wars, there are not as many. But we want to reintegrate the civilian factor with the military factor and realize that we are driven with resources. We want our dignity back, and we want you to treat us with that dignity because we can deliver. This concludes our time, and we're open for any questions.
Do we have any questions of Mr. Renteria?
Yes.
Councilmember Jemison.
Yes, thank you both for coming and speaking with us. I'm looking at the handout, and it talks about the membership, and you have 1,261 members here between the cities of Moreno Valley, Paris, Riverside, and Corona. What is your membership cost and requirements?
It takes somebody about 3 to 5 minutes if they're savvy, maybe 10 to 30 minutes if they're not. That's their cost. In return, they get information. Henry Kissinger said it best. The greatest commodity in the world is information. We don't sell it. We deliver it. That's the cost.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Mr. Renteria, for being here. This is one of the biggest Riverside best well-kept secrets. You were down in Riverside, so I invited you here to give your presentation. Now, they have a service to offer, and we need to look at all the avenues that we need to look at, because veterans do not want handouts. They want jobs, and this is a resource that we're putting out there so that veterans could take those avenues and get those jobs. So could you tell us more about what the veterans, what veterans groups or the veterans are actually what they want?
I was in Washington State, Vancouver, and I opened a center up there, and I was there on the weekend for a week event. And a Sunday, a gentleman with a dog comes by and wonders what we're about. But just prior to that, a businesswoman up in Vancouver was looking for veterans that they can rely on, because hiring others were difficult. She did a lot of environmental work. So I connected the two of them. And he's been employed by them for about 6 years, making $60 an hour. So we are literally an interface. We translate who we are to the civilian population. One of the Public Law 16-50, what its design was to do is to provide a 3% federal opportunity to veteran business owners, particularly those service connected. Since 1999, the average has been about 1.5. It's come up to 3%. What is not known, and I like the gentleman about being informed, what's not been shared or informed is the value of your veterans. We are valued, federally funded, on average, if we get our VA card, about $10,000 a veteran into the state of California. There's 2 million veterans in the state. 45% of them most likely be self-employed. 10% seek that VA benefit. 90% don't, for a lot of different reasons. And the reason I believe so, because we have not educated civilian counterpart to say, don't you want 10,000 times 1,200 veterans in the area? And she's going to say, yeah. Then I ask her to help me, hence our tagline, where communities serve veterans. Jobs are created when federal funding comes into your doorsteps. And if the civilian counterparts don't realize how to do that, then we'll only have a VA hospital in Point Loma and a VA hospital in La Jolla, because there's no foot traffic. There's no identifier, and that VA card does that. So what we do effectively is we talk to veterans. I'm a Chief Warrant Officer for a retiree, so I have a different dialogue with a veteran than other people, mind you, because I'm an expert in my field. And my responsibility to a veteran is to say, look, you served a period of indoctrination. You were regimentally driven. I know I can trust you in the forefront of the war, and you may not come back, but you're going to do your best. For those that did come back, they have that pain, that memory, but I know deep inside of them, if we treat them with dignity, connect them as a resource to a civilian, that 3% set aside, you'd be surprised on how you can shift that. And that's what this sum is about. It's designed to educate the civilians and think about us differently. Every year, we bring 10 veterans from U.S. vets. We give them $100. We tell them put on a suit. They claim they don't have one, but the U.S. vets program gets them in the suit. And we plan to do that this year as well, because the worst thing we can do is create a transitional veteran and forget about them. We want a transitional veteran educated by an informed community, the civilian. Because when you look at us as a hidden national treasure, that $10,000 VA card, you'd be surprised the magic you have in your hands, literally. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Renteria. Is there any more questions of Mr. Renteria? Thank you for being here. Hope to speak to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate that. We hope to have the summit here on November 14th. My business is branding and marketing. November 4th, 2015, is I want to start branding, marketing at my cost as a business owner. No one pays us. We do look for sponsors, but we aren't driven by that. June 1st, we want to market and brand and announce Moreno Valley will have the summit. So hopefully that can be decided at your next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Next order of business